All right, guys, welcome. And if you are watching this part of the show right now, that means you are watching on YouTube and you have caught the live version of the show. So we are about 10 minutes out from starting. We might start a little early tonight since we've got all of our ducks in a row. But yeah, we're about 10 minutes out. So if you want the actual show, just go ahead and fast forward 10 minutes. But Colin and I just wanted to hop on. And we decided to move some segments, I think, into our pre-show. So as well as testing audio and all that stuff during the pre-show, we're also going to do our What's in Our Glass segment during the pre-show. So you guys get that a little bit first. It's not going to be in the actual show. We decided to move it around. It's a little bit of an extra thing because it doesn't really fit with the content. So we still want to talk about it. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. So just testing things out. So you're just catching us doing our thing, doing our thing. So, what are you having?
Right now, this is just what's left in my fridge. It's Samuel Adams Crystal Pale Ale.
Oh,
This
I don't
guy.
think I've had that one.
It was from the summer pack,
Okay.
or I think that's what it was. It was either the summer pack or just the seasonal pack. I bought that one weekend.
I've only had their, well, obviously besides their regular one, I've had their winter one, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, the Sam Adams Winter Ale. I
Is
think
that what it's
or
called? Yeah, something like that.
Winter Lager maybe.
I don't know, but
What do
that
you-
one's pretty good, so I can imagine that would be pretty good too.
I mean, this one's for a pale ale. I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
What do you got there?
I got a. So if you get the variety pack of Boulevard, they have these things called tasting room. If I can get
Oh,
it
yeah.
there.
No,
And so
yeah.
you get two different tastes, and I think the ones right now are blonde ale, so that's what I'm having right now. And the other one, I can't remember what the other tasting room is, but apparently they're not beers they normally sell. It's only ones that you get in their tasting room down in Kansas City. So
No, yeah, I know at least for us, for bakers, when the make your own six pack,
yes.
they have more than just those two.
Oh, really?
They'll have a ton of the tasting. They'll have like 3 or 4 of the tasting room ones. I always want to get them, but I'm just not that big of a Boulevard fan, so I never do.
See, and I usually am not either. I usually like New Belgium better, but I went down to Kansas City for my sister's graduation, and I had one. I'm like, actually, maybe I should give it a second shot. Not as bad as I remember.
See, I remember. I mean, I'm saying a name here. We're talking about one of our college roommates. Ian and I bought Groupons to go to the Lucky Bucket brewery. Neither one of us has gone yet.
Really?
I feel like that's what the summer is for now.
I'm down to go there. I heard that place is awesome.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's out west. It's like out by Cabela's, I think.
Oh, it's farther than that.
Oh,
I
is
think
it?
it's like halfway to Lincoln, I want to say.
Oh.
I
Is
think
Lucky
it's.
Bucket sold anywhere like outside of Nebraska?
I know Illinois has it. I'm pretty
okay.
sure. Okay, I'm like 90% on that one.
Because I don't even know if Kansas City has it. Honestly, I'm not down there enough. I should check, though, because that's a good one. I really like Lucky Bucket. Their lager and stuff like that. It's really good.
Have you ever had their, what is it? They have vodka and whiskey. It's called Cut Spike.
No.
I think
Really?
it's called Cut Spike. I'm going to Google that really quick. I want to be sure.
Yeah. Well, my
Alright.
buddy works as a distributor for, I think it's called Tito's, which they own, they have a
Oh.
lot of different kinds underneath. And so I didn't even know, the whole world of that whole, it's just crazy.
Tito's is relatively new in the past few years.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're
Like
right.
the handmade vodka or whatever it is.
Right. Well, and they
I've heard-
they have beers under them. I think they have a few wines. They have a few,
Really?
yeah, they have a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, so it's called Cut Spike. That's the Lucky Bucket, spirits.
Okay.
They're not bad. I mean, they're kind of expensive for being a middle of the road whiskey or vodka,
Right.
which is kind of unfortunate because it turns me away from wanting to buy it. It's like $30 for a bottle, and I'm like,
Oh, dang.
yeah. I'm like, no thanks.
So I don't know if you're gonna have to turn me down tonight on your end, but on the YouTube side, the music was really low. So, but I know you thought it was really loud.
No, I could just hear it. I didn't think it was.
Okay.
I didn't
might
think it
turn
was
up a little
bad.
bit tonight, so you might have to turn me down a little bit if it's too loud for your
No, but
my
no problem.
ears. What I ended up doing, I just went and I actually just edited all those out and put in fresh ones when I mixed it. because it was kind of, because when I record through Google Hangouts, so it's already pretty compressed. So I
Yeah.
just took out that music and put it in fresh, which works
Cool.
out pretty well. Yeah.
So this is off topic, or kind of back on to the other topic. But when it comes to like going to alcohol distributors and viewing their website, it asks the "Are you 21 or older?"
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna put my real birthday.
Right. How effective has that ever been on the internet? Like, are you 14
Never.
or over on Facebook? Or I don't even know what Facebook is. 16.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
You got it.
It's all 8th graders anyway. Stuff like that. Yeah. All right. Well, again, I'll just say it. If you guys are jumping in now, if you guys are jumping in live, this is just the pre-show. We're just hanging out, having a good time. We just did our kind of what's in our glass, our specialty little segment there before the show starts. So we're going to start here in I'd say about 3-4 minutes. We'll get it rolling. But thanks for coming out, and hop in the chat room if you guys are watching live. We'd love to have you out there so you can comment and ask your questions and all that stuff. You don't have to if you don't want to, but hop on in there. But yeah, like I said, we'll be going live in about 3 minutes. So I was gonna do a Periscope again, but I forgot.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me while I was taking a picture. I'm taking a Snapchat.
Oh no.
Oh, and then it's just dead air of people just looking at their phones.
Yeah,
This is real life.
Right.
When people just look down at their phone and it's just quiet.
It's like with the news shows too. Like as soon as they cut, they're all just like down.
Yeah.
Going live in 5. Okay, back up and let's go.
I love how they like go down to their computer. Most of the time I'm wondering, are you actually looking at notes for what you're about to do? Or are you just like an anchor man where they're like talking to each other, like calling each other names?
Right.
It's like, is that really what it's like? Ugh, it's just a picture. That's all I sent. There's no context. It's just a picture.
To who? To everyone?
Yeah.
Did you see Pitch Perfect 2?
No, not yet. I was planning on going to see it last weekend, but then I didn't.
Yeah, Hannah and I went.
How was it?
It was good. It was
I
good.
want to go. I'm probably going to go on Saturday morning.
I mean, definitely, they never are. It's kind of without saying. It wasn't as good as the first one, but still, actually, for a sequel, pretty funny. Pretty good stuff.
I'm probably going to go see it this weekend.
Yeah.
It's either that or Mad Max. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, that looks good, too. Yeah.
I can't decide. How do you go full screen? Oh, said this last week, and it's just the view.
Yeah, I think so. It always locks my whole thing up, so I never do it. I don't know why. Or I guess it happened once. It doesn't always happen, but it happened once, and I'm always scared to go full screen.
Oh, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't want the... I'm glad I'm doing this 2 minutes before.
Plenty of time, man. Plenty of time.
Yeah, this doesn't even matter going full screen.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I like that upgrade to the MacBook Pro, and I think and the iMac, yeah.
Well, the iMac is just it's the less expensive version.
Oh yeah.
It's like a cheaper iMac, same specs.
Whoa.
What'd you do?
Oh, you couldn't hear that, could you?
No.
All of a sudden, I thought I started playing. It was an advertisement on the webpage, and it started blasting in my ears.
Oh, God.
Never a good sign.
See, I thought they had already... Oh, was the only MacBook with the Force Touch that they had released, was that the MacBook Air?
No, it's just the MacBook. Just like their new straight MacBook. They didn't name it the Air. It's just their new MacBook.
Oh, that's right.
Because they did, yeah. Because that new MacBook came out. It wasn't the Air. It's just like their new MacBook, even though it's lighter than the Air, which is kind of weird.
All right, I'm ready to get going. If you want to get going at 7.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and get on started.
All right.
Oh, 1 sec. I need to. QuickTime just quit on me. Awesome. Let's try it again.
Live TV.
Yeah. Raw and unedited. In all its glory. Okay, so we are going to... Now I'm trying to remember... Okay. Okay, so we are live. We should be, or not. Nothing is coming out of that. Okay, give me like 1 second, I guess.
Just
So
breaking
this is always
everything.
good. Yeah, I don't know why that should have sound. Okay, let's see if it comes out this way. Now, are we hearing anything? Nope. Okay, this is fun because this is the entire operation now too.
This is a new low for you, Mike. New low.
No. Oh, maybe. Try this.
I apologize in advance if anyone hears multiple clicks tonight. Using a mouse. So
Okay, still. Now, do we have anything? This is weird. Well, at least we're live on YouTube, so people can see that we're here. We're just working through some technical difficulties over here, trying to get some audio, and I think one of my cords came out.
I'd love to tell you all some jokes, but I don't know any. And with Mike not here, I'm not going to ruin his show. So we just have to hope that a cord did come out. Probably did. Either that or Mike is looking away from what he's supposed to actually have turned, which I've been telling people all about you.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is when you vamp and give me time to try and correct everything.
I like that word, vamp.
Yeah, it's a good one, huh? Unless I got nothing.
I was going to tell some jokes, but I didn't know any good ones. Oh, don't pull the power cord.
Trying not to.
Yeah. Cut the blue wire.
I am at a loss as to what is going on.
Is it plugged into your iPad fully?
It's not even that. So it's the sound coming back. Why is that doing that?
Oh, that's pretty weird then.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. Okay.
I can't help you with that.
I think this is what we gotta do. Switch that. And now we're going to go back. Save that. See if that works. No? Okay, old school. Time to...
This is the fun part of the show where we don't get things right after spending 10 minutes trying to set it all up. It's a new segment we call Trying. Sooner or later, we'll get this all figured out.
No, we won't. Don't promise anything.
Oh, sorry. My favorite words at work are potentially and maybe, so I should stick with that. Is that actually going to work? I don't know. Maybe. It's a fair answer in digital marketing. You're never sure. So.
Now I'm trying to find my extra cord, and of course it's not here. This is going superb.
So another reason why we're not having the post show, there is a hockey game on this evening. Sure, there aren't that many hockey fans out there. I wish there were. But the Blackhawks are taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Or is it the Ducks of Anaheim? Who knows? Baseball and hockey. Weird names for everything. I wish they were still the Mighty Ducks. I feel like Disney lost some contract, and the NHL was like, yeah, we're changing the name. So,
Probably.
if only they could bring back Gordon Bombay.
Gordon Bombay. Okay, when things don't work, you bring out a different chord that it's going to sound real bad, but it'll work.
No? Not the right one?
Oh, we'll just see.
We're gonna hope for the best here. That's what we're doing.
Alright, gonna do that. Turn it up. And
Anything?
Turn this up, and we got something. We got a little bit of something. That might have to work. That might be what we have to go with for the radio and for the recording. And Spreaker is being maxed out like crazy right now. You know what? We probably won't go to Spreaker. We're probably just going to go to the radio, and we'll apologize to them for being so freaking quiet and weird. Okay.
Our bad.
Yeah, our bad. I will try and figure out what is going on another time.
You've exhausted the resources so far.
Yeah. We're 6 minutes in. We're just gonna go with it and call it a day with Spreaker. Sorry, Spreaker. And hopefully the recording comes out all right. We will see. I'm just gonna stop it. Stop that recording. Well, this makes things a lot easier on my end.
It's the best part of the day now. Things got so much easier.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's take this thing live. Let's go ahead and do this here. And you ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Welcome back to another week of Open Mic Night. So glad that you are here to join us this week. Again, we're joined by our new co-host, Colin Ball. We have a lot of good news today. We have a lot of good stuff in the core and the seed and then some good tips and tricks and one of my favorite picks of the week that I've had in the past few months. So let's go ahead and just jump right in.
So now let's get to the main event. It's phenomenal.
All right, so welcome to everyone who is joining us. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is Open Mic Night. My name is Mike Wieger, and I am your host, and we are joined also by Mr. Colin Ball. He is our new co-host, and here on Open Mic Night, we strive to bring you all the Apple-focused things, all the Apple news, tips, tricks, everything to make your Apple devices work better for you. So if you like Apple, you have found the right podcast. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Hopefully you'll have a good time. So, Mr. Colin Ball, it's been a week. You didn't run off. You came back, so we didn't scare you off too bad, huh?
No, not too much. So.
All right. Good. I'm glad. So tonight, we have some good stuff going on tonight. There's actually quite a bit of news for a middle of May show. I was actually pretty surprised. Some actually pretty big news, yeah, for the middle of the year. And then we've got some pretty fun tips of the week. Colin has a good one that I had never even thought of before, and he figured it out, and I'm glad because it's something that I will need to do. And, yeah, so we're going to have some fun tonight. But first off, I want to apologize to anyone listening on WLMN Radio. I'm not sure how this is sounding. If you guys watch the live version or if you go back, actually, you guys won't even notice if you're on WLMN Radio. But our audio just cut out on us. The audio that I send it to the recorder, I send it to Spreaker, and I send it to the radio station. That just cut out. So I had to pull an old cord that I'm sure is crackly and sounds awful. I know it's going to be really quiet for you guys. I know that just because it's not the normal way we send stuff. So also, no Spreaker. I'll upload to Spreaker after, but no live to Spreaker. So if you're one of the people that usually wants to hop on and listen live, I guess you can't even hear this anyways, so I don't know why I'm telling you, but we're not live on Spreaker if that's how you're trying to listen. But that's okay. We'll figure it out for next week. But I was at a loss, Colin. I mean, Colin was watching me. There's just nothing there. There's just no sound.
Mike was all over the place, couldn't figure it out. So.
Yeah, and it was working just fine from the iPad, and nothing coming from the laptop, though. Absolutely no sound, nothing. So, yeah, we'll figure that out actually, I'll have to figure it out for Thursday for my other podcast, because that's also a main way that I use it to send to the radio station. So hopefully we'll get it figured out. But alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's just hop right into the news. Colin, you actually were on top of the news this week, so just go for it. Pick one and talk about it.
I'll just start with the one that kind of interested me the most. I wouldn't say it's entirely news, but it's somewhat newsworthy. The Apple TV, how it's basically come out in the past, I think it was just today, or it might have been the last week, talking about how there's never going to be an Apple-based television, and people just either need to get over it or realize that, one, the market, there's no point, because TVs, people buy a TV to last. They don't buy a TV like an iPhone where it's like they understand there's a new one that's going to come out next year, so I'm going to buy that new one. With a TV, there's never that much innovation. And Tim Cook has always been out in front saying, like, we love television, but we don't really love the industry, without saying like that. So
well, and I think they're set with a set-top box. That's what Apple needs to focus on anyway. And the whole TV. I mean, that's been a wish of Apple fans for a long time. But why do you want to get into that market? I agree with you. Like, there's really no market for it. And when you think about it, I mean, all the television makers anyway are having to come up with all these gimmicks every single year to get you to buy a new TV, because TVs last for a long time. I mean, the one TV in our bedroom is probably 15, 16 years old, and the one in our living room is 4 or 5, relatively new. It's the one with all the HDMI and stuff like that, but people tend to keep TVs for a long time, so there's no reason, if you don't need to, don't hop into that. I mean, Apple. I agree with you. I don't see why Apple would ever go into an actual set-top box, an actual television. But rumors fly in that the new Apple TV is going to be quite important to HomeKit and things like that. Now, they did just drop the price of the Apple TV from $99 to $69. Do you think we'll see a new one this summer, or when do you think we'll see a new one?
I would assume, if not this summer, next fall.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the fall is usually, they don't really release that much at WWDC. They really kind of wait for the Apple event that they always hold in September and October to really push that stuff. But I don't even know what they're going to have on it. I've heard that they're going to add more third-party apps, but
right, third-party apps, and I think they want to integrate it into HomeKit. Obviously, this is all rumors, but I think it's going to be the hub for controlling everything in your home. Like they announced this over a year ago. Now, there were rumors that just came out that HomeKit's going to kind of get pushed. They were saying, Apple originally said a May-June kind of release of HomeKit, but now they're saying that it might be later, as in August or September, so that would fit perfectly with what you said. If they're going to push that Apple TV off till the fall, maybe give them some more time. The rumors were that they are pushing it because they were running into problems with the connection between, so like they're connecting to things like your Hue lights, your Philips Hue lights, your doors, your garage door, your locks, all that sort of stuff. And apparently some of the code was so large that it was draining the battery really fast on some of these products that have a portable battery and are not plugged in. So there have been a lot of rumors on that end, but
is this their competition with Nest?
I think, well, HomeKit's going to be kind of like bringing it all together. So I think in a perfect world, Apple would have Nest as part of HomeKit. So HomeKit is kind of like this thing that all these companies can kind of build into, and then you'll be able to control all of your different branded home automation stuff with HomeKit. So I think they're trying to be like the over top of that. Like they don't want to be the Nest, they want to be the thing that controls the Nest, the lights, and all that.
Well, Nest is owned by Google.
Right. So I don't think I don't think the Nest will never be on there. But the Honeywell. I
believe so.
Right, is that the brand Honeywell? Yeah,
Honeywell. That sounds correct.
Right, and they're making something to compete with the Nest. They already have it out there. There's something called the Hive? I'm gonna forget. I think it's the Hive. There's a lot of different stuff, kind of like the Nest, that I could see Apple trying to pull in and get under the HomeKit. But I think whenever we do see HomeKit, that is when we will see the new Apple TV. And I definitely think that the price drop on the Apple TV was directly because of the new Apple TV coming out soon. But something I would like to see from it is getting rid of kind of the mandatory apps. First of all, let me delete apps. I know you can hide them, which is nice, but I feel like I have to scroll down through lots of pages of apps now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit faster, a little snappier, better Wi-Fi. And I mean, really, there's not much. A lot of people want some gaming on there, but I'm not a big, person that would want to game on my Apple TV. That's what Xbox is for. That's what PlayStations are for. I think the Amazon Fire TV tried to be that a little bit, and I don't think it took off at all. So really, for me, I just want it to be a little bit snappier, and I do want to see some HomeKit integration. Even though I have no home automation right now, it might be the little push I need to get into some. I would like some lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the basic stuff. Do you know anyone who's experimented with the home automation area? I really don't know anyone who has them. I think they're a cool idea.
Well, I know someone at work, he actually said that he has Nest. He like connected Nest at his home.
Okay.
And he said it's awesome because for the fact that he never has to set his air conditioner, you kind of just set a range where you want things to turn on or not on. So he never has to think about it. If it drops below a certain temperature outside, it knows to kick on the furnace.
Oh,
But if
that'd
it
be
goes
so nice.
above, it knows to kick on the air conditioner and keep it at a certain temperature. He said he never touches it. He said it and he's like been done with it.
That's perfect. That would be
Yeah.
so nice. Because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always either freezing or hot in the apartment. That might have to do because it's a really old apartment and air leaks in and out. But still, it would be
Yeah.
a nice addition. And they're just kind of cool because they plug into any existing system. It's not like you need to go build a new house to add this stuff in.
Yeah.
It's kind of the cool part about all this home automation. The lights, you don't need special lights installed in your house. They're just a bulb. That's a smart bulb. All kind of cool stuff. So, all right, the next little bit of news. So that is all about the Apple TV, and I think we're in agreement.
Yeah.
If that's a word. that
Agreement is a word.
yes, we're in agreement that Apple's not going to go with the set-top TV. They're just going to stay with the box, just the box that plugs in. All right, so the next bit of news. Apple is actually, they just announced cheaper iMac Pros, cheaper iMacs and cheaper MacBook Pros. And with the MacBook Pros, they added the Force Touch that we saw in the new MacBook that was announced. So if you guys remember back a few months ago, I talked to you guys about the new MacBook, the one that had USB-C, only one port. Remember that? The really light and portable laptop. Well, as a part of that, there was the Force Touch, where it can kind of sense how hard you're pressing down on the trackpad, and they added that to the new MacBooks, which is kind of nice. I went to the Apple Store and I played with it a little bit, and the only way I tested it was I went in and I was fast forwarding through a movie, and you kind of hold it down harder, and it kind of fast forwards a little bit faster, and you let it off, and it goes a little bit slower. So that was the only experience I had with the Force Touch, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. I kind of like it.
Well, is that what is the Force Touch? Okay, I kind of understood it when it came out. It's basically taking away the responsive click. It's taking away the haptic feedback.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not an actual click, but you would sometimes swear that there is a click. Like, it's kind of weird. It's got that haptic feedback where it feels like it's clicking even though it's not. So it's kind of a weird experience. One of those you got to play with to see if you like it. But I really thought it was kind of cool. And as far as, I don't think we've really seen the full features of having a Force Touch trackpad. I think we'll start to see that as time goes on. But the fast forwarding through a movie was a perfect example, especially if you're doing any sort of audio editing, video editing, you're scrubbing through a bunch of files. It's really nice. I mean, it's natural. It's what it is. You don't have to click, and it doesn't make sense to have to click twice to go into 2x or click 4 times to go into 2x. Be able to do harder and softer. It was a really cool experience. So that is what's being added to the MacBook, and I think the price was about the same though, correct, to the MacBook Pro?
I haven't seen the price for the MacBook Pro. I just saw that they were upgrading the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
The few places I looked, I probably didn't look hard enough. That was the problem.
Right. I think they actually had them live on their site. So I'm gonna pull it up here real quick just to see.
Okay, because the new iMac, that new base model for, I think it's the 21-inch, correct? Or is it the 27-inch?
27-inch is, I believe, the one that got updated. Maybe not.
So, whichever one it is, I know that one, what I'm reading right now, the base model for that is $1,999. I was about to say $1,999. That's
okay.
Not true.
And on the site, they have actually, with the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina and the 15-inch MacBook Pro with Retina, they're all listed as quote-unquote new. So I'm not sure if that's with this new pricing. I think it is, because their lowest end one is, they are, because they have the Force Touch trackpad. All of now the MacBook Pros, whether it's 13 or 15-inch, get the Force Touch trackpad, and as long as you're getting the one with the Retina display. There is one 13-inch Mac Pro without Retina display, and it does not have the Force Touch trackpad. So that's a good way to remember it. If you're getting Retina on the MacBook Pro, you're getting the Force Touch now. If you're not, then you're not. It looks like what they've updated. And it shows in the price. That cheapest 13-inch without the Force Touch is about $1,100 as compared to $1,300 for the next step up for the Retina display and the Force Touch, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So those are the prices. But, I mean, being able to get a Retina displayed iMac or MacBook Pro for $1,300, that's a really good price on those Mac Pros.
The 15-inch is $1,300.
The 13-inch is $1,300. So you get a 13-inch with Retina display though, that crisp screen, 2.7 gigahertz, i5, 128 flash, like so SSD. That's decent for
Yeah.
$1,300. If you're needing to get into that Pro line, then I think you're going to be pretty good. But yeah, and then the iMac, of course, they also updated, and I'm looking here, and I don't think they have it on their website yet. That one might not be updated on the website. The other ones all say new, and there's no new on the Apple website for this new iMac. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all it's saying is that the 27-inch iMac with Retina 5K display, they're offering the cheaper. Which that's the $1,999.
Right. Nope, you're correct. It does say new. I was on just the regular iMac. I forget they have a whole extra tab for iMac with Retina. So yeah, you're right, for $1,999. That's a 3.3 gigahertz i5. That's a decent computer.
That's a really good with 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, and a terabyte hard drive.
No, that one's not a terabyte. It's only got 256 gigs of storage.
I think they updated it though, because
they did?
Yeah, if you go to the website and look at the iMac with 5K, there's only both of the options have 1 terabyte.
Okay, I gotcha. So, fair enough.
Yeah. And I think if you're on the radio, you might be hearing all my notifications go off. I just realized that. Let me see if I can turn those off. I'm hearing all these dings. It's the great part about having iMessage.
Just turn off iMessage.
Yeah, I'm turning off I'm turning on Do Not Disturb on the computer, which that's another tip I'm going to teach you guys how to do. It's hidden. It's a hidden little gem. So I'm not even reading them. I'm sure they're funny. We've got a little group chat going on. So, but yeah, so the new iMac, $1,999 terabyte hard drive. Now on that iMac though, I would probably swap out that 1 terabyte hard drive for an SSD because that's still going to be a spindle drive. And man, ever since I made that upgrade to that SSD, I will not go back. I won't go back to anything without it. So the one above it, for an extra $300, you get a Fusion drive, which for Apple that means you pretty much have a spindle and an SSD, and they have software that kind of goes back and forth and uses the best of each. Obviously, the SSDs are going to be faster, but obviously the other ones can hold a lot more storage, so they kind of utilize both. And so that's what the Fusion drive is. But with the $1,999 one, you do not get a Fusion drive; you just get the terabyte spindle drive. So that is that. All right. So moving on, that is all we had for the news tonight. But still some big announcements. When Apple kind of does those little updates to the MacBook and the MacBook Pro and the iMacs, whenever they do upgrades to that line, they don't usually have a big announcement like this time. We didn't see a huge announcement from Apple. They kind of slip it in there, and it's up to us to find it. So, But that was the big news coming out of there. So a good time to go out and buy those MacBook Pros, though, especially since they dropped that price down a little bit. Or sorry, the iMac they dropped the price on. The other ones they didn't. If I could get all my news straight, that would be great. A good time to buy the iMac.
Everything sounds so similar that it's...
It does. There's so much Mac, iMac, MacBook Pro.
Exactly.
And before the Mac Pro came out, that's usually I just left the book off. I would just say Mac Pro. Now you have to say MacBook Pro. So.
Yeah.
All right. So now it is time for our next segment. This one's a lot of fun. I love this one.
Can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward.
All right, so the seed. The seed is when we look back into Apple history and we learn a little bit about Apple each week. We look back and say it's kind of like a This Week in Apple. So that is what we do in the seed segment. And this week we are looking all the way back to 1986. So 1986, a young Steve Wozniak was just now graduating from UC Berkeley. Now this was 10 years after he designed the initial Apple I. So he'd been working at Apple. He had already designed the Apple I 10 years ago. He actually graduated a few credits short, but UC Berkeley gave him some equivalency credit for all the work that he had done at Apple. And Steve Wozniak gave a speech at his graduation, and the speech was all about making sure you do something that you like to do, doing something that's good and stuff that you like. I don't have the direct quote, but it was a very inspirational speech nonetheless, and I love hearing from Woz, the non-seen character, the ghost behind Steve Jobs. That is Steve Wozniak. So kind of interesting that he'd been working at Apple for 10 years and hadn't even graduated college yet. He probably didn't even need to. He didn't need to. Let's just put it that way. He did not need to graduate, but he did.
Steve Jobs never graduated, so I mean.
Sorry. Oh yeah, did I say? I thought I said Steve.
No, you said Steve Wozniak.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wozniak. Yeah.
Today's an off day already. We can tell.
It is. It is. The whole audio thing before, whenever audio goes wrong for me, it throws my entire game off. I'm off. Yeah, it'll be that way for the rest. But that is our seed segment. That's the fun little history lesson that you guys get to learn about Apple. So time for our next segment. We are cruising through these. This is awesome. Let's cruise right through.
Our camera's not turning on. We're making mistakes. We're fixing them as fast as we can, but we take it in the chin. That's part of what we do. And we went through the roof about this.
Alrighty. So the core. The core is a exclusive segment to Open Mic Night where you're going to hear an Apple fanboy rant about Apple. And Colin, I don't know if I would. Would you qualify yourself as an Apple fanboy? I've wondered if you would call yourself one.
I mean, I really enjoy Apple products, but
Right.
I mean, I would rather use them than Android. I know that, so I guess I could
Okay.
consider
You prefer
myself
them,
one.
but you're not really. Okay. Yeah, we'll put you in the half category. You're like on Harry Potter little. What do they call those? The when they're halves.
What is it? It's God, it's not a half blood. It's a.
I thought it was Is it half blood?
Is it a mud blood? Something
Mud
like
blood.
that.
That might be it. Whatever. That's what you are. So you're kind of half in there. Anyway, so the core, we're going to talk about some things that really frustrate us about Apple. And I've had a few this week, but I'm going to kind of limit it down to one. Still having trouble with iMessage, by the way. So that is a rant that's probably going to continue until Apple fixes it. But I guess I can throw in a little bit of rant there, and I can ask you if you guys are having the same problem. But for my iMessage, all of a sudden I am receiving them from people's email address. And it's been in the past 2 weeks, and I can still, I can go in that thread, but it's a completely different thread. So let's use my wife, for example, because it happened with her. All of a sudden, I got an iMessage from her email account, and I was responding back to it, and then I can switch, and I can go back to her phone number and have a completely different conversation. But on her end, they look exactly the same. But for me, they're split out. So I have no reason why. It's not a connectivity issue. It's when I have perfect Wi-Fi. I have LTE. I wasn't in a bad area. So I don't know what it is with iMessage, but the saga of the iMessage continues for me. It's still just driving me nuts. So as much as I love iMessage and I like being able to talk from my computer, my iPad, whatever device, it doesn't come without its challenges. So, sorry, I'm reading the chat room here. We have a kind of a good question. So I'm just going to read this question real quick. Before we get into our rant, I'm just going to read the question. So, Organize Mindfully in the chat room says she's an Apple fan, he or she, I guess I don't know. They're an Apple fan, but they don't know much about iCloud. If they have iCloud, is there a way I can use it so I don't have to use a USB as a backup for things I have in GarageBand? And that's a really good question because iCloud has gone through some big changes lately, and whenever you're able to access the iCloud or you're not able to access the iCloud, it's kind of different. But yes, you can save things to your cloud from your computer. And I don't know the exact process, so we might actually save this as a segment for next week, as a tip and a trick for next week. This is actually going to be a really good segment, so that's a great question. Yes, you can do it, and I will show you guys how next week. That'll be my tip and trick, because I can show you guys how to save things. Unless you know.
No, I mean, I rarely use iCloud to begin with, so.
Right. Okay, well here's just to get you started. If you open up, the biggest thing is you need to update your computer to the latest operating system. So if you're behind in your iMac or your computer, whatever you're using, update it. You need to get up to Yosemite, and you need to get actually to the latest version of Yosemite, I believe. But when you open your Finder on the latest version of Yosemite, in the left side there, if you have kind of the default settings still there, iCloud Drive will actually be an option. And this is if you have iCloud signed in on your computer. As long as you're updated, it should be there. And it acts kind of like any other sort of file system. Kind of like if you acts like your USB key. So if you had your USB key plugged in, that's usually what you would click on. Instead, you can click on this iCloud Drive, save things there, and then any other computer or device that you are signed into, you can actually go on and get your files from your iCloud. So that's just how to get started. And I will, but like I said, I'll cover that next week. But yeah, just go into your sidebar. It's kind of just like a normal place you can save things now. It's called your iCloud Drive is where you're going to save it. So, and there might be some settings you need to turn on. I've gone through and I've done a lot of those settings already. So like I said, next week we'll cover all that stuff. I'll kind of look into it and see what I did to do that and what you guys would need to do. Colin, is that on for you? If you click that, if you go into your Finder, is iCloud Drive one of the options on the left?
If I click my Finder?
Yeah, if you're just like going to find a file.
Normally, sometimes I don't have it turned on.
Okay, because it's under like that favorites for me. It's right above AirDrop for me, is where that's at.
I don't know for sure if I have it turned on. I know you have to turn it on.
Yeah, so there might be some settings you have to turn on. So, so Organized Mindfully, thank you for the question. That is fantastic. That's what I like about having the chat room and doing the live show, is that we get some of those fun questions. And look at that, you did my work for me. I have my topic for next week. Don't have to look into anything. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Okay, but getting back to the core, getting back to my rant. Now, I don't think this is going to be a rant for Colin, except for he has been with me when I've done this once. But getting into a Mac, so tearing it apart, if you want to upgrade, the title of this episode I chose is I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade my machines, and I want to be able to do it easily. I want to add in an SSD. I want to add in memory. But as the line has gotten, as we've gotten with the more recent Macs, it has become so difficult to open up a Mac and simply access the hard drive, access the RAM, anything like that. Colin and I upgraded our laptops, and thank goodness our laptops were the 2009 model that made it extremely easy. It was in the battery case. You popped off the battery, you unscrewed 2 screws, and you were in. It might even be 1 screw. It might not even be 2. It might even be 1 screw, and you had access to the hard drive. But I also did the same process on my iMac, and you have to pop the glue around the screen and be really scary, wear gloves and pull the screen off of your iMac. With the latest laptop lines, you have to really dig into the actual guts of the computer when you pull off the back. It's not just in the battery case anymore. And it's something that I don't understand why Apple has gone this way. Apple's already had kind of the reputation of, if you want to build your own PC, a lot of times it's for gaming. If you want to build your own either a server, or if you want to build your own gaming PC, usually you go with a PC and not a Mac for that exact reason. You can't go in and add different PCI cards. You can't go in and add all these sort of hard drives very easily. It's kind of once you buy the Mac, you better get the Mac you want, because going in now and upgrading it is extremely difficult. And it's my rant, so it was perfect. I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, you know what? I made the mistake. When I did the iMac, I only put in a 250 gig SSD. So I've already gone in and done all that to my iMac, and I've done it once, and I will never do it again. It was such a pain, and you have to clean the inside so the dust doesn't show up on your screen when you put it back. It's a total pain. I won't do it again, but actually I'm wanting a bigger hard drive. I was like, man, I wish I would have put a 500 or a 1 terabyte SSD in my production machine. And so that's what caused the rant, is I'm starting to run out of space, and so I'm having to store stuff externally, and it was just getting me angry. But, Colin, do you know, is there any reason why they would be locking that down?
Well, I feel like it's exactly what has always been PC stands for personal computer, so, you're creating a computer that's personalized to you. Mac is we're set in our ways. Like, this is what you see is what you get. Like, we're the best. Why would you want to update it?
Right.
And
right.
To me, that it kind of ruins it, because people love Macs, but if you want to have all of the best amount of storage, that's a weird sentence, but the amount of storage that you're looking for, you have to get the top of the line computer that costs the most money. You have to get something like it's just called a Mac now, right? Not a Mac Mini.
No, I think it's still a Mac Mini.
That tower, I feel like it's not called a Mac Mini anymore.
Well, they just have the Mac Pro and the Mac Mini for the standalone ones, but maybe it's
the
not.
Mac Pro. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, the Mac Pro.
The one that kind of looks like a trash can.
Yeah, the trash can. Yep.
If that's the thing, you have to spend all this money if you want to have a computer or just a tower that gives you all the power, which is ridiculous.
Right. Well, and Apple's always, I agree, because that's totally true. Apple locks it down because I think it makes it easier for them if they can kind of control the environment. They can handle problems a lot better. When you bring it into the Apple Store, it's higher probability that they're going to know the problem, because they're going to probably have guessed that you haven't gone in there and modified too much. If they made it that difficult, if I'm not wanting to get in there, I guarantee the average user is not wanting to get in there and mess with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a little hesitant to do ours at first. I remember because I did mine first, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to get in there and swap out this sort of stuff in a Mac, but we did, and it worked out well on ours. But yeah, the 2009 series was kind of the last easy series to access. I will admit, on my iMac, the memory is very easy to access. There's just a drop-down little tray that swings out, but that is only because I got the 27-inch. Again, on the 21-inch, there's no tray. It's not accessible. You'd have to open up the screen. So, but on the 27-inch, for some reason, I don't know if I said that right, but on the 27-inch, there is the drop-down tray, and they made it pretty easy. But besides that, it's a total pain to do. So, and also, I understand that they're also trying to get slimmer. Everything's getting smaller. They're having to move these things around, and obviously having something easily accessible isn't going to be one of their top priorities. Like, well, I'd rather it work and be really slim than have our customers be able to get in there. But it frustrates the guys like me who want to make an old computer last a really long time. I'm hoping this iMac lasts me another 5, 6, 7 years, but it's only going to do that if I'm able to get in there and upgrade the stuff myself. So so just one little rant I had. But unless did you have a rant? I didn't see you put one in there, but
I don't in particular, no. I will say one thing that bothers me. Okay, maybe I do. I was thinking about this earlier.
Cool.
Because it feeds into my tip of the week. The fact that you can't use Wi-Fi calling on the iPhone 5, but it works on the iPhone C and the iPhone 5S.
Really?
Wi-Fi calling is only accessible from 5C and up.
Now,
and for me, that was T-Mobile touted that as like this big thing that T-Mobile was going to have for iPhones, and for me, I was like, holy crap, I'll be able to have service in certain places because I have T-Mobile and they're terrible in Omaha. But when it said it came out with whatever update it was, I went in and was like, where is it? And I couldn't find it. I start poking around online, and there's just forums just littered with the iPhone 5 won't have it.
Gotcha. So you're talking about the Wi-Fi calling through your carrier, not like FaceTime audio, right?
Like Wi-Fi calling where you can make phone calls if you have a Wi-Fi connection, but no.
Okay.
Or if you have like a bar or two.
Right. See, and I completely forgot about that because Sprint is now nowhere near adding that into their lineup. So I'm not sure if Colin froze. I think Colin froze a little bit. So he might be out, but I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully you guys can still hear me.
No, you're good now.
Okay. We're back.
Yeah. I was like, you're just sitting there staring at me. This is weird.
Well, yeah, and you were doing the same thing. You had a very inquisitive look on your face, and I was like, either he's very confused about what I'm saying or he's frozen. So anyway, what I was saying was I totally forgot about that because Sprint is nowhere near having Wi-Fi calling. Like, they've never even talked about it. So I would love it, but I've never really thought about it. So I forgot that you're on T-Mobile, and T-Mobile was one of the ones that is going to have that. So you're going to have to upgrade if you want that, huh?
Yep.
Oh, man. But alternatively, you could use FaceTime audio, which is just, instead of doing FaceTime video, which you could just do the audio, but that means they have to be on an iPhone. It's using their data. It's not using their cell. So there's a lot of downsides to that. So, yeah, it would be nice to get that Wi-Fi calling. Man, I wonder why.
I don't know. I mean, there's really when it comes to the 5C and the 5, there's 99% no difference.
I think they even have the same chipset in them. I don't think the 5C I know the 5S has something obviously different, but I think the 5C and the 5 have the same one, maybe.
Yeah, and that's what's ridiculous. I'm like, you upgraded if you had waited a year, you would be able to have this Wi-Fi calling. It was really annoying.
And you would think, I mean, it's nothing with the Wi-Fi antenna, and they're already doing it seems like a very simple thing to do. It doesn't seem like it would be something that is. But maybe it's again, Apple does this. They have those little tiny features that they throw in there that are different just to get you to upgrade. And I guess we are, 3 years out from the iPhone 5? Is that what we are? Because we had a 5S, 6, 5S and 6S. Yeah, so you had the whole year for the 5, the whole year for the 5S, and now we're 1.5 years because we're halfway through the 6 and 6 Plus year. So, man, that's a better rant than mine. It's unfortunate.
It is, I know.
Well, especially because, you know why T-Mobile needed that is because T-Mobile is in a lot of areas, not very good, especially in Omaha where we're at. I know I've always whenever I'm around you rarely have service unless you're out west.
Out west is the worst.
Oh, is it? I mean, I thought out west was better. So it's downtown that's a little bit better for you.
Downtown is pretty good. Like, if I'm in a building, it kind of goes away, but if I'm outside, I'm good. Trust
so
me,
funny from a
I know where the things are now. I know where to stand and stuff. It's so sad.
Right. And so so for you that was a big thing having because you have Wi-Fi all the time, and so you'd be able to make calls, receive calls. Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. All right, so let's move into because that's going to lead you right into your pick of the week. So let's move into those.
It's the picks of the week, baby.
All right, the picks of the week, the fun time where Colin and I have something that we've been using or playing with, and we think that it would help you guys out if you guys used them. So let's just continue the conversation. Just go on with yours because yours is awesome. I had no idea how to do yours, which it seems like something that would be pretty simple, but I had no idea. So go ahead.
Well, if we're doing tips or picks, whichever it may be.
Oh, sorry, I moved straight into picks, didn't I?
We're doing both. I'm mixing these.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
You are so thrown off. It's not even funny.
I'm so thrown off. The whole audio thing before, just I'm out of it. So.
All right. So my first pick, I'll say I have two. We'll just do picks. So my first pick, when it comes to in terms of using your phone, and if you had Wi-Fi calling, you're good. But when you don't, such as me, and you have spotty service, you're going to all of a sudden get a notification saying you have a voicemail, but yet you never received a call. So you want to look at it, but visual voicemail or the little settings where you can click the thing and it shows you that it's playing, that doesn't always work if you don't have data and good service. So how to call your voicemail. There is no set contact for your voicemail. There isn't like a set number that you would have like there used to be. And I was sitting there today, I'm like, how do you do this? Quick Google. If you type in 123 and hit call, or if you just hold down 1, just holding down the number 1 in the keypad, when you pull that up, it'll call voicemail for you.
Interesting. See, I had no idea how to do it.
Oh, when I did it, I was like, I had this big smile on my face. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This worked.
Now, did you have to set a PIN? Because I was always wondering what the PIN, was it something that you set a long time ago?
Oh, yeah. The number, or whatever, the voicemail, like, password, that's been the same since I had a BlackBerry.
Okay. So I'm guessing most people have had set that in the past. I think you have to have even a voicemail thing. So, yeah.
But, I mean, that was awesome for me, having that. And, I mean, I could jump into the second one if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it.
So my second pick, it's a game. That was when Mike told me his pick of the week, I was like, oh, I don't have one. So I kind of just went to the App Store and found a game to play. And I really like puzzle games, and this week's Apple App of the Week is, I'm going to say this wrong, Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, I had no idea how to say it either. I was going to hope you said it first.
So I looked it up. It's some Spanish, like, folklore something. It's a big, giant snake. And that's kind of what the game is. You're just pulling these different colored snakes into their designated color cubes is all you're doing. Which, it sounds really lame, but I really like it. So.
No, those puzzle games, the simple to, what is it? It's easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
Those are fun games. Kind of like threes and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's a good one. And it's free right now, so you should probably grab it right now it's still the featured app.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. All right, so you covered your tip and your pick because I jumped the gun and put us into the wrong segment. But for me, I'm going to start out with my tip. So my tip revolves around a question we had in the Facebook group. So we had a question in the Facebook group from Amber, and she was asking all about how to sync up your calendars. Her and her husband want to use the same calendar on the phone, and they want to do, I think that's all they wanted to sync. They just wanted to sync their calendars and have the same thing. So they're wondering, is there an app for that, or is there a good way to do it in your settings? And this is where the whole family share settings really come into play. And if you guys missed it, when they came out with iOS 8, they added this whole thing called family sharing, which pretty much means you can connect a bunch of different Apple accounts. So your iTunes account, all of those. So if I have one, my wife has one, your kids, you connect those all into one common area. And then you can make purchases from the same card. You can share a calendar. You can share some photos together. And it all adds into the same Find My iPhone. So there's a lot of benefits to setting up a family share setting. So the way you do that is all you have to do is either device, so you or your husband's or you and a friend, whatever you want to doing, one of you grab your phone, go into your iCloud settings, and there will be a family share setting that you have to tap, and it'll add you to invite your people. So I think you can add them from a contact. You usually want to send it to the email that they're using with their account. The other person accepts it, and then you guys are then considered a family. Within that, you guys will find that you now have a calendar that is called your family calendar. And so when you add stuff to that calendar, both of you guys can see it, which is nice. I like the way they did that because you can still have your own separate calendars because obviously you don't want to see everything you're doing. You just want to see your family stuff. But then you do have that one shared common calendar that you guys can both use. So that is how you accomplish that. Now there's a few things that are not as intuitive with Family Share as you would imagine. So the biggest benefit, main reason they did this, I believe, was because a lot of us, if you are in the same family, you guys were using one account for your App Store or your iTunes Store, and you were using another one for your iCloud, and your whole family shared that same one that you would use for the store, so that you didn't have to keep buying the same stuff over and over and waste a bunch of money. So they did this so that now you guys can just all buy from the same credit card. Now, gift cards, though, are a little bit different. The way gift cards work, kind of contrary to how you would think, the gift card is only used for the account that the person is buying it from. So if me and my wife have a family account and it's tied to my credit card, you would think that if I have a gift card and I'm the main, kind of the head of the account, if I have a gift card on my account, if my wife buys something, it would use from that gift card first. But that's not the way it does it. Gift cards are still tied to each person. So if I want to buy something with my gift card, I can buy it. But if she wants to buy something, it'll charge the credit card. It won't charge the gift card, which is kind of odd. You would think that it would just use any gift cards that are on any of the accounts, but just something to be aware of. If one of you is loading up all the gift cards, but you don't do all the buying, you're probably not using up all those gift cards. So just something I want to mention right there. But yeah, that is how you do it. The Find My iPhone is also great because it puts you all into one. So now me and my wife, I can log in to Find My iPhone with my account, and she shows up so we can find her phone quickly and easily. But just know all those things are involved with the family share settings. That is my tip of the week. So hopefully, Amber, hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that's easy enough. And if you guys are all on iPhones, that should work out pretty well for you. So. And if not, Google Calendar. That's what you got to go with if you guys are on all different devices. So that's what you got to go with. All right, so now time for my pick of the week. And my pick of the week is a new app. It's called FitMen Cook, like fit as in like physically fit, FitMen Cook. And it's all for kind of the guy who works out that wants to eat healthy but doesn't like all like the really sissy, like a cracker sort of meals. They want like a lot to eat. You want to eat a lot. You want a lot of protein. It's meant for kind of the hungry guy who wants to eat healthy is kind of how I describe it. So my problem with a lot of the other health apps is like it doesn't fill me up. None of those foods ever fill me up. Some of them do. Some of them don't. But this app is strictly tailored for people who want to eat a lot but want it to be healthy. So it's kind of cool. It's a really, really cool graphical interface. And if you guys are on the video, I'm just going to kind of show you how it looks. You've got all sorts of recipes. So it's all recipes on what you can make. And as you go through, so the selections are, do you want a low carb? Do you want vegetarian, snack, breakfast, something on a budget, meat, high carb, post-workout, seafood, or a hard gainer? Which I'm thinking is for muscle gain.
Yes.
Yeah. So with all those sections, then you can click in there and you can see recipes. Just scroll through. They have pictures of every single one, really good-looking pictures. Don't look at them if you're hungry. And you scroll through them and you can pick them. And then the nice part about it is you favorite all the ones you want. Like, oh, yeah, I like all these. And you can add all the ingredients to a shopping list. So then when you go to the store, you open up the shopping list in the app, and it has all the ingredients you'll ever need. It combines them if it has the same ones, which is really nice. So when you go to the store, you then have all the ingredients you would need. Now, this isn't the first app to do this. I know that. There's, I think Paprika was one that I used in the past, which you could pull in recipes from all over and then have the shopping cart sort of thing with all the ingredients. But I just really like how this one was tailored for that specific set. So once I start getting back into working out, it's finals and everything, and the month and a half there has been a little rough, but getting back into that, it is a great option for eating healthy. You should see some of the meals. They look awesome. I'm like, that there's no way that can be healthy. And you look at it like, oh, yeah, pretty healthy, and it's huge, like huge plates of food. So, Colin, I thought you'd like that one. You're a big you like to cook, and you're actually a pretty good cook, so I thought you'd enjoy some of those recipes.
I will say, if you're seeing things that are on a big plate, don't make yourself a big plate Like, that's going to defeat the purpose of eating healthy.
Right, yeah. Well, I think their whole thing is, I mean, kind of, they give it to you in quantities of how much you want to make.
Oh.
But it looks, yeah, it's one of those things.
No, all right, yeah. I mean, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I was meaning to this afternoon. Just kind of got sidetracked.
Well, and it does cost money, so it is $3, but $3 I think pretty well spent if you're looking for recipes. If you're not, if you know what you like to cook and you do all that on your own, no need to grab it. But if you like recipes, and I do, just the feature of adding all that into a shopping cart, that's the winner for me. Because doesn't matter how much I favorite or like things, if it's not there when I go to the store, I won't buy it. I won't remember it. I don't take a shopping list when I go. I usually just try and go off memory, which is probably why my wife doesn't like to send me out grocery shopping, because I never come back with what I'm supposed to. But all that aside, a really good app. So that's FitMen Cook, $2.99 in the Mac App Store, and I believe it's only on iOS. It's not on Android, as far as I know. So, yeah, kind of cool.
I mean, I'll think about downloading it. I have Pinterest instead, which sounds kind of lame, but they have great recipes on there. So.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of other free solutions. This one for me, I liked the way it looked, and I liked how it was a lot of food. Because I'm gonna eat a lot of food no matter what. So if I can make it healthy, even better. Yeah. It's all the better for me. So. All right, so we are going to bring this thing in for a close this week. It's been another good week. We had a few people in the chat room. That was great. Thank you for that question. That was good to have out there. Love having you guys out. If you guys are not listening live, we do the show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific over at omnpodcast.com/live. You can head out there. omnpodcast.com is where you can find everything, all the subscription links, all the past shows, anything like that. I forgot to say this at the beginning, but we added a new affiliate to the show. So Gazelle is a new affiliate, and it's a place where you can sell all of your old devices. So if you have old iPhones, iPads, computers laying around in a desk drawer, a lot of people have a drawer of old gadgets that they're not using anymore. Gazelle, you can sell those, get money. You never pay a thing. They'll send you a box, and they'll pay the shipping, they'll pay everything, and you just send it off to them, and they'll send you a check, a PayPal, or an Amazon gift card, I think, which is pretty cool. So if you guys do have those and you want to do that, omnpodcast.com/Gazelle, Gazelle. But all of that is under the affiliate section. So that's kind of fun. Love having them. I've used them a lot. Every device, whenever I get a new phone, the old one goes to Gazelle. They're pretty honest. They give great prices. Usually you can get about $150, $160 if you have the latest generation phone, and less on some others. But yeah, great way to sell off those old devices, because you've got money sitting in those drawers, you might as well get it. So that's stolen directly from their commercial.
Fair enough. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. A big thank you to Roger over at WOMN Radio. Again, I want to apologize tonight. I'm sure the audio quality is not that great for the live, but I'm going to send him the recorded version, so it'll be all fixed by tomorrow. So if you listen to the rerun, if you can't hear it right now, you can always listen to the rerun later. But a big thank you to him and all of them. Let's see here. That contact. Oh, we at Uyghur Tech on Twitter, at Colin_ball13, 1L in Colin, COLIN_ball13 for him. And always email me, Mike@UyghurTech.com. And final thing, go to that Facebook group. If you just go to OMN Pod, if you go to the website and go to the social tab, you can see the Facebook group. That's a lot of fun. I love when people post questions out there. So thank you, Amber, this week for posting that question. Really helps us out, gives us stuff to talk about, which is always good. This Thursday, I'll be on Home Gadget Geeks, I believe. I think so. So hopefully that's this Thursday. You can check me out there on that podcast. That's the only other podcast I'm doing right now. My wife and I are still going to start up that Suit and Scrubs one, so don't worry. We just haven't gotten it off the ground yet. We've been paying for a website that we're not using, so that's always fun. We're going to get that up and going. That's going to be a fun show. We can talk about that later. But Colin and I have to get going. We have to watch a hockey game. Blackhawks are on, so I know Colin's been watching the clock, and I need to get him out of here before 8. So I'm going to give him 6 minutes to go settle into his sofa and get in front of that TV for the.
Well, thank you.
No problem. Anything I can do for you. So, alrighty. We are going to, maybe we'll have a little bit of post show just for like a minute or two, just to clear things up, because Jim says,
what did he say?
I don't know what he said. He said woot. We might be a little late on Thursday, so I think that's what he was saying. But I thought he was a little late for the post show. So, alrighty. So that is it for us. I will see you guys next week. You guys have a great time. Until I see you guys next time, though, tech on. All right. So do we want to do any post show? Was there anything that we want to talk about, or did we get it all out? I think we talked about it all ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, There's nothing really.
Yeah, so Jim,
really don't
I
have
guess
that much.
we had said we were going to do it post-show, Jim, if you're still watching. We actually did a little bit of pre-show today because the hockey game's starting in 5 minutes. So we did a little bit of pre-show. We'd moved some stuff there, and yeah, that was kind of our attempt at a pre/post-show. But alrighty, Colin, thank you. That was awesome. I will probably see you on Destiny later tonight. Oh, that's here. Just for a little post show, if you guys want anything. The game Destiny, I just got into it, and so did Colin. I won't speak for him, but don't buy it if you don't want a new game that you're addicted to, because it's a pretty awesome. Him and I and our buddy all kind of have the Xbox One now, and so we needed a new game to play together, and we decided on that one. And I think it was a bad idea because
it's going to take some hours of my life away.
Oh yeah, quite a few. But it's summer now, so it's all right. Not that makes a difference for you at all.
I was going to say, it's...
For me, it seems like I have a lot more time now. So.
Yeah, the 8 to 5 job, there's so much summer involved in that.
Right. Alrighty, well, I'm going to kick off the live stream. Goodbye to WLMN Radio, and we'll see you guys on YouTube next week, I guess, for you guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, adios, guys.